A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to round two of the GNR Proto Type and GTE Racing Series live here on the JP Broadcasting Network. My name's Alex Goldschmidt. Joining me in the booth tonight at the famed Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, James Parfitt. This circuit, located in Braselton in Georgia, not too far outside of Atlanta, is the home of the Petit Le Mans IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship every single season. It measures just over 2.5 miles, 13 turns, 7 to the right, 6 to the left. First opened back in September of 1970. Of course, we've got GTP and GTE in action, as well as the fact that we'll have the GTE split into two respective classes. As time qualifying, we're about 4 minutes and 20 until the checkered, ahead of a 45-minute race. And let's welcome in Mr. Parfitt into the booth. Good evening, Squire. How are you?
I'm very well, dude. I'm looking forward to this. I think this should be an absolute banger one, to be honest. It's Road Atlanta as well, so everybody technically should know it. They've raced it probably in multiple different cars and multiple different series. Have we had GTP and GTE back together again? Not as far as I can remember over the last 4 years, I can tell you that much. Because as long as I can remember, it was GTP and LMP1 and GT3, I think it was, back in the day, or 4 years ago. So yeah, lots going to go on, I'm sure. Hopefully no dramas, but we have got this long run down from 7 to turn 10. So who knows what's going to happen. I'm hoping it all goes well.
Yeah, we've got a bumper GTP field. There's the number 10, Andy Pratt from Australia, currently running P6 at the moment, running in the Penske Porsche Motorsport colours. He goes across the line with a 1 minute 11.330. Jack Ashton leads the way in the GTPs in the Cadillac with a 1 minute 9.294 according to the timesheets. And then we've got Kaysen Collier, Vegard Johansson, the Norwegian, rounds out your top three. So three different manufacturers represented: Cadillac, Porsche, and BMW. Then Luke Oxner leads the way in the GTE Pros, and it's a top three for Porsche at the moment, with Jeff Manning and Gert-Jan Polman rounding out the top three. Covered by not that much, less than just over half a second, separates the trio. And at the moment in the GTE-AM, behind the wheel of the Blue Oval's finest in the GTE days, of course, the Ford GT itself, Tom Weston leads the way ahead of Rolivor Bolivio and Drew Halloran leading the top three with Ford, Porsche and Corvette. So a very, very close qualifying session thus far, and it will be a true test for these drivers over a 45-minute race. There will be pit stops required. I mean, it'll be 65% fuel limits for the GTPs, and for the GTEs, it'll be 55%. So it might put them on a sort of a near-on trajectory course for everyone diving into pit lane pretty much at the same time, James.
Yeah, we found that in round one, that all of a sudden everybody sort of come into the pit lane and they were quite close together. One of the things they are going to have to look out for is here, turn 5, either take all of the curb or leave it alone, because it will spin you if you get it completely wrong. So that's going to be one for them to look out for as well. Josh Taylor is just up the road. He's got his one through turn 7. Big luck up for Josh, just got that completely wrong, unfortunately for him. But this is one of the tracks that they know, you know, you can pretty much make overtakes all the way round from turn 5 right the way through to turn 1. What you don't want to do is 2, 3 and 4 is going to be very, very touch and go, and they've got to make sure that they can make 2 and 3 work before they go down through the S's of 4. Yeah, and here we are with the number 18, Josh Taylor, with the Greggs and Tesco signage adorning the BMW M8 GT. Runs a little bit wide through turn 11. And takes a bit of the Joker lap there. The man from the UK who comes to a stop on the start-finish straight. Good evening, Jeff Manning in the chat, saying good luck to everyone. Let's have a good race. And still we ride on board with Andy Pratt in the Porsche 963 Hybrid. He's just coming through to that famed turn 5. And look at the speed. It's going to increase very, very quickly indeed. We've seen the cars and the GTPs go around about 200 miles an hour in the speed trap. Now into turn 6, short shoot up to turn 7, the right-hander. And this is when you hammer down and go all the way up the gearbox. And it's going to be increasing the speed up to 5th gear, 145 miles an hour, 150, 160, 6th gear.
now really stretching the legs on the 963 as he goes down the hill. 190 miles an hour, just touched before turn 10A, and he goes straight on at the chicane. Kitty litter aplenty, and the checkered flag is out for the session. So Jack Ashton takes pole position in the GTP division, Luke Oxner in GTE Pro, and also Tom Weston in GTE-AM. Let's have a look at the grid for round 2 here at Road Atlanta. 45 minutes. It's going to be Jack Ashton on pole position. Kaysen Collier alongside on the front row. Ian Knox and Vegard Johansson round out row 2. Stuart Brighton and Andy Pratt row 3. Stephen Laird and Parker Enquist round out your top 4 rows. Completing the top 10 in the GTPs and overall, Rhys Bartlett and Damien Hayward with Chris Slane not at the back end of that field. GTE Pro, Luke Oxner will be joined by Jeff Manning. Gert van Polman in the 124 Porsche rounds out the top 3 in the class, ahead of Brandon Smith. Gilles Alleman, Chad Henson, Philip Grussing, Garrett Kinney, Josh Taylor rounding out the GTE Pro divisions. Then Tom Weston, Rolivob Olivio, Drew Halloran, Nick Marshall, Chris Romano, Justin Lanier, and Sam Hager round out your field. 27 combined GTP and GTEs. And one of the things I do love about the GTEs, it's good to see the big old beast, the M8, and Josh Taylor being the only brave soul to pilot that particular chariot around the circuit here at Road Atlanta as the Ford Mustang pace car leads us on a full formation lap. And what's more, James, GTP versus GTE, it's going to be an absolute slobber knocker here at this Georgia circuit.
Absolutely. Jeff Bannon in YouTube chat is also sat in the race. He's in first in GTE Pros. One of the interesting things, Garrett Kinney and Josh Taylor are going to be mixing it up with the AMs. They're further down. Chris Slane doesn't look like he's set a time or taken to the grid, so we'll see how that one works out for him. But Garrett Kinney, Josh Taylor could have some work to do, as long as Philip Russing, who's mixing it in with Tom Weston and Olivio there further down. So that's going to be an overall mix as well. We'll see how they get on. There it is on the left-hand side. You can see the AMs and the Pros. The AMs are separated by the blues, the Pros in the green, and the GTPs in the purple. Great mix of racers. Great mix of seeing how this is going to work out. Big old gap left though between the GTPs, but then that did cause a problem last time out as well in round number 1. There was an incident and everybody ended up getting mixed up together. So I'm hoping that they're going to leave a massive gap that provides that they don't go and make a crash in turn number 1 and the GTEs come flying into the back of them.
Yeah, we're just heading into turns 6 and 7. Air temperature 22.8 degrees centigrade. Track temp 23.3 degrees centigrade. So we will see the GTPs top out at nearly 200 miles an hour, depending if you can get the slipstream out of the cars on the long back stretch here between turn 7 and down the hill into turn 10A. More to the point. Oh, dearie me, that was Andy Pratt that's just had a spin.
What did he do? Did he do it all on his own? That's the question.
I think he might have done. Let's just have a look if he's weaved. Oh, it's the weaving. No. It's the weaving. And there he goes. Oi, oi, oi.
Oh, dear. Wooden spoon of the race goes to Mr. Andy Pratt, who's just got that all wrong, unfortunately. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't weave.
Well, don't weave too excessively, I think is the term. But here we go. Pace car this time will be into pit lane. And it is going to be the run to turn 1. Jack Ashton starting on pole position. Kaysen Collier alongside, of course, we've got family members in there as well. Travis saying, let's go, Kaysen, as we go down the hill. Pace car in pit lane. We get set and ready for the GNR Designs Proto GT Series Round 2 here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. And already before we've gone green, Jack Ashton has bolted and has caught everyone napping. We are green for 45 minutes. And Kaysen Collier has got Ian Knox to his inside. Vegard Johansson in the BMW MV8 Hybrid trying to get through. And there's a bit of bang at door panels between Knox and Collier. Up the hill for the first time. Through into turns 2, down into 3. Knox runs a little bit deep in the Ferrari 499P, but holds on to second for the moment. Jack Ashton, in the meantime, is bolted like a rocket out of a cannon. Jeff Manning, in the meantime, in the number 2 car, is now the man who is leading. He's up a position. So is Gert-Jan Polman in the 124, very patriotic Dutch-coloured Porsche 911 992 GT3, the 911 RSR, I might remember now. I should get my terminology right, because considering who I commentate for these things, James. But lovely to see the RSR on track, along with the Corvette GTE. But here we are on board with the man from the Netherlands, trying to close in. It's about a 7/10 of a second advantage that Jeff Manning has going into turn 6. And we get to hear that wonderful rasping sound of the rear-engine, rear-wheel drive Porsche as the Corvette, the number 16 of Brandon Smith, who's already up from 4th position into P3. Meantime, Luke Oxner, who started pole position in GTEs, is now down to 4th position. And he's trying to catch them up. He's running in the same kind of livery that we saw in 1998 and 1999 when Porsche, with the Porsche 11 GT1, won with the likes of Alan Manish behind the wheel at Le Sarthe at Le Mans. In the number, so the number 77, I mean, that is a lovely livery on that Porsche as he comes out of the final corner. We're going to see what happened earlier on. And this is what transpired as they went into turn 10A. Yeah, he just went off, Luke Oxner. It was just a little bit of a run, bit too deep, and then all of a sudden, there you go, bit of kitty litter on the tyres, and you have to dust yourself off, pick yourself back up. Looks like there's a little bit of a ping issue with Brandon Smith, but he's trying to close in on Gert van Polman into turn 5. So Gert-Jan trying to hold on to that second position whilst chasing down the race leader. Oh, who was that in the background? That was Gilles Alleman going very bumpy off the exit out of turn number 5. That was a code, Brandon, nearly a clean up on aisle 3.
Yeah, Stephen Laird's gone off the track as well. You say Ashton's bolted away in the GTP, but Laird has gone. Oh, he hit the inside curb, and unfortunately he's gone round and he's had to go into pit lane. I was just looking at why Oxner messed up the start. And now we can see why, is basically he just went and ran deep into 10. But he is trying to come back through at the moment. He's having a good old go with Brandon Smith. I don't really want to click on Smith because he is having issues with his internet. But further down, Drew Halloran and Olivio and Chris Romano are battling it out in the GTE-PRO, the GTE-AM. So great battles taking place all the way through at the moment. But there is an arm of Tom Weston in his Ford, up further in the order. He's sitting 14th overall. He's up 3 places. Great job from him. But at the moment, it's looking like Noxie is going to have a go there as well.
He just tried to, he was right up close and personal to the rear bumper of Brandon Smith and had to back out of it. Gert-Jan Polman has taken the lead in the GTE Pros. So Tom Weston, who is way up the order in comparison, as again we see the Porsche behind going off the circuit and might lose a position into turn number 6. But dramas again for Luke Oxner as Brandon Smith has just dropped it coming out of turn 7. Here comes Tom Weston in the Ford GT with a head of steam. He gets through on the backstretch and starts pulling a little bit of a gap from the orange Corvette.
Yeah, at the moment we've got the battle for the lead here as well. Jan Polman and Manning having a good old scrap. Polman's gone and dived up the outside. He's got the outside line coming out of 10B. Now it's a run up over the hill through turn 11. They go. Not going to be able to make it at the moment, Jan Polman, but he's having a good old go. That is the most important thing here. He's pushing Manning all the way. It's going to be interesting to see how that one pans out. There was a little bit of action going on in the GTPs with Andy Pratt. But currently, at this moment in time, he's dropped further back at the moment as well. He's got Damien Hayward not far behind him at the same time. So I'm going to have to give the overlay a bit of a kick because it has kind of frozen on me. So we'll try and get that up and running as well. But yeah, lots of action still taking shape here in this 45-minute blast.
Man on the move at the moment, currently in P3 in the GTP side of things. Vegard Johansson has just put in the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 9.682. So the Norwegian already up 1 spot. So is Ian Knox, who's currently P2. Kason Collier has dropped down, unfortunately, from the outside of the front row. Currently runs P4 ahead of Stuart Brighton with Andy Pratt bringing up the rear of the top 6. There's Jack Ashton leading the way in the race overall. There's Kason Collier trying to do his best to recover back to at least second position. And if he can get a good run on Vegard Johansson as they come into turn 7, the back end starting to twitch a little bit to the left-hand side coming out of that 7th corner. And down the backstretch they go. And top speeds at the moment, Jack Ashton through the trap, 196.4 4 miles an hour. Case and Collier in the 963 Porsche. The number 12 has just gone through it at 198 miles an hour. So speeds are very, very high here. We're looking at a rate of 25 to 30 miles an hour differential as Vegard Johansson gets a little bit of a wobble coming out of turn number 11. Case and Collier has just spotted it and said, right, okay, sunshine, let's go to battle, shall we? Johansson to the inside of the Porsche, just in front, and Collier manages to get through as they hit the top of the crest of the hill to turn 2. So please bear with us with regards to the overlay side of things. We're just trying to, and we've had a problem. That is going to be the BMW M8 Josh Taylor, who was running in 7th position, and it's going to be the fact he's going to lose it here at turn 3 and 4. The back end gets the tank slap and bang into the barriers, and the rear end takes a big old hit. So I think Josh Taylor in the BMW M8 is going to head into pit road very, very shortly. That's more than likely going to give him a mechanical black flag, as we are 3 minutes and 40 in. And so the drivers getting up into a kind of a flow, and very, very quickly here at Road Atlanta for round 2 of this series. We have seen that the GTPs have caught the GTE-AMs very, very quickly indeed. So still, and this is where we're going to see 3 abreast going down the start-finish straight. Here comes Case and Collier through the inside of the 2 Corvettes, one of which being the 930 of Chad Henson, who was battling with Garrett Kinney for position. So this is where you've got to have your head on a swivel. If you're a GTE, if you're a GTP, you've got to make sure that those moves are done nicely and cleanly without any drama for those cars surrounding you.
Yeah, absolutely. Bear with us on the overlay, guys. I'm trying to give it a kick at the moment. It's just not responding to anything. I'm trying to get as much information as we can, and I'm trying to find out what's going on. So just bear with us on that one, but we are trying to make it work as quickly as possible. But Case and Collier doing a great job sitting in 4th at this moment in time. We've got Reece Bartlett having a good old battle as well. He's chasing down Parker Enquist. That should be a good fight. Then we've got Olivio Halloran and Romano fighting it down in the GTPs.
Yeah, just caught a glimpse there of the 03 Porsche 956 hybrid. That is Reece Bartlett chasing down the Cadillac V Series R of Parker Enquist and the 247 from the USA. They go into turn 10A. Now it's uphill over the crest once again, and then it's down the hill through the roller coaster here at turns 11 and 12. So this is the battle for P8 in the GTP. Stephen Laird has come into pit lane in the 131 BMW. Well, obviously, I think he's called it time on this race, because that was a hard hit for the BMW MV8 hybrid. Also, Josh Taylor has been in there for quite a time. He's going to go at this rate maybe a couple of laps down as we ride on board with the 03 in towards that famed and very, very hallowed turn 5, using as much of the runoff area as he dares. Does Reece Bartlett. Still trying to see if he can tee up a move, but at the moment he's not quite close enough to Parker Enquist in the battle for P8. So Ashton leads ahead of Knox and Johansson. That's your top 3 in GTP. GTE-PRO, Jeff Manning leads the way ahead of Gert-Jan Polman, and Luke Oxner, our pole sitter, rounding out the top 3. Well, it looks like Manning has bolted, and it is still
a problem, I think, Alex. He's
oh
gone
dear.
Off the grid. He's dropped down to 5th in class at the moment. That's allowed Gert-Jan Polman to go out in front. At the same time, with Oxner battling his way back to 2nd overall. Western GTE-AM is sitting in 3rd in the class altogether. So great job from him on that one. But you can see now, hopefully the overlay has come back for you guys at home, which is great. Just for us here at the moment, Alex, it's just not happening. I'm just going to try and flick you over to another screen so you'll be able to see the overlay as well. So just give us 2 seconds. And I will get that sorted for you.
Yes, indeed. So there has been change afoot as we are 10 minutes into the 45-minute race thus far, and it is the Tom Weston train, so to speak. So from that perspective, it's never ever easy when you've got cars very much closing in on you, but Tom Weston has done a good account of himself. He's got the man who's in third position in the GTE Pros, Brandon Smith. He's got Gilles Alleman, the man from Switzerland, in the Porsche behind as well. So Weston has done exactly what he's needed to. He's got a 6.5 second gap, maybe make that a 7.3 second gap over Olivio. Romano rounds out the top 3 in the GTE-AMs as Gert-Jan Polman battling away with Luke Oxner, and this is for the race lead. So Oxner back in the lead of the GTEs as we speak, and time is still coming down here at Road Atlanta for this second round of the series. And a big thank you to everyone that is currently watching on the JP Broadcasting Network, because a couple of drivers, Tom Weston just nearly found the curse of turn 5 biting him in the backside, and I think I saw a little bit of air going underneath the front splitter of Gilles Alleman in P3 in the GTE Pros. He's about a second behind Gert-Jan Polman. Luke Oxner is about 8.5 tenths of a second in front of the Dutchman. So battles heating up and down the order, but Jack Ashton in the GTPs here, JP, is away and clear by nearly 7 seconds, as we still have 33 minutes on the timer to go.
Yeah, he's absolutely flown away right at the start as Jack. He's done a great job, moved away and just got away from any of the grief, and that's what he needs to do. One of the things he's going to be interested now is how these GTPs going to cope with the fact that Luke Oxner and Gert-Jan Polman are going full bore at each other, flashing the lights, trying to go through on the left-hand side. Got the job done without any incidents, but Gert-Jan Polman is now tucked in behind Oxner. It's going to be an interesting run to see how he gets on here and whether or not he can get the move done.
Yep, that's going to be the crucial thing. But then also with regards to the pit stop phases here at Road Atlanta, you've got to be very much on point to ensure that your pit stop is not compromised in any way, shape or form, because one wrong move, you miss your pit box, that's going to cost you time. You speed in pit lane, that's going to give you a penalty, that's also going to cost you time. But still, Gert-Jan Polman, the Flying Dutchman from the Netherlands, trying to do everything he can. You know what? Those 3 stripes, even though it might be representing the Dutch flag, it kind of reminds me of Colgate toothpaste.
I'm sure he's happy about that, dear sir. I'm sure he's happy that you turned around and said that. But you are right. The white, the red and the blue do look quite good. Enquist needs to be careful on that inside line. Does manage to get it up. He has still got Bartlett pressurising him. They're going to be practically the same on the exit. It's only going to be once the speed kicks in. There you go, of the GTP. Enquist does manage to muscle his way through on that one, but Oxner has now opened up a little bit of a gap, but I think the GTPs are helping him with that one.
Yeah, definitely showcasing, and obviously Luke Oxner doing exactly what he can. So Gert-Jan Polman battling away with Gilles Alleman, still a top 3 lockout for Porsche in the GTE Pros as the timer quickly heads towards 1/3 distance, as in, oh, now who is that that's just gone off the track? That's Damon Hayward in the number 25 Acura ARX 06 that has just had a big moment, and he was running 9th in the class. So let's see what happens here. And he's gonna he's gonna lose it. Oh, big old tank slapper, and he just glances the barrier. The left front of the nose of the Acura does hit the barrier, but Gert-Jan Polman battling away with Gilles Alleman, who's now up into 2nd position, the Swiss driver with the Good Smile Racing livery on there. Kind of reminds me of one of the cars from the Good Smile Racing team in Japan that run in Super GT 300. Alleman still keeping it to the outside at turn 10A. That was very brave indeed by the Swiss racer. He keeps the Dutchman behind him as they go through turn number 12. This is proving to be a very good battle, but it's allowing Luke Oxner to get away into the distance.
Yeah, it's at the moment as well, and that's the problem, isn't it? Alleman is basically just kind of getting the job done and moving up, but he's just slowing it all down. They really wanted to stay with Oxner as much as they could, but unfortunately they haven't been able to. Drew Halloran had a incident, and this is down at turn 10A and B. And I've got a funny feeling he's going to go straight on here on the back end. Oh, there he goes. Round he goes, unfortunately for him. And has got on his way. Few people in pit lane already. A couple of people are in there because they've been forced to go in there. Stephen Laird and Josh Taylor. Garrett Kinney's dived into pit lane. and also Damien Hayward has also gone in pit lane as well. So a couple of pit stops there as well. Jarvis Oxner putting those real life skills to work. He is at the moment. He lost it at the beginning, but now he's opening up a gap in that GTE class. Philip Grussing is also another man as well. He's up 2 places, having a battle with Olivio, with Chad Henson just up the road in front of him. So still not done yet. Still lots more to come.
Yes, indeed, as we have 16 minutes completed of the 45-minute race here at Road Atlanta for round 2 of the series. So, nevertheless, great work by some of the drivers. I mean, you look at Tom Weston, he is way up the order, still in 14th overall, but leading in the GTE-AM, and considering where he is, he's only 1 3/4 seconds behind Brandon Smith at the moment. Philip Grossing there in the bright yellow Bumblebee edition of the Corvette, obviously running in the GM Racing colours that have frequented the 24 hours of the Le Mans circuit. And Philip trying to close on in on the car in front. Now that is going to be, I would imagine, that's not going to be Henson in front of him.
It's Oliver.
Okay, so Olivio, who's currently P2. And has got an I rating of 1,436. Lowest I rating I see is Justin Lanier in the number 3 Porsche, 1,039. And then you go all the way to the top of the tree. Jack Ashton, 5,525.
Yeah, Jack's just showing up.
I know.
That's all it is. It's really hard in league racing to pay attention to I rating. You know that, because I've seen multiple leagues where people with high ratings can't, shall we say, makes you wonder how they got it. As Grussing is having to go at Olivio here as well. It's not a battling classes, it's 2 separate classes going at it here. Grussing in the GTE Pros, Olivio in the AMs, managing to hold on there as well in that Red Bull livery of all things. If anybody knows the story of what you do in officials when you see a person in a Red Bull livery, you run away. So Grussing's having a good old go at the same time. Jeff Manning has just cleared Tom Weston. That GTP of Ashton's trying to thread the eye of the needle through the middle. Makes it work. Grussing also gets the job done on Olivio, but I think Jack may have helped him on that one.
Yeah, threaded the eye of the needle, and it was going to be pretty much a formality for our overall race leader, who now has a 7.2 second advantage over Ian Knox. Kason Collier now back up into P3 ahead of Vegard Johansson. Andy Pratt has moved up into P5 in the class ahead of Stuart Brierton. Then we got the likes of Parker Enquist, Reece Bartlett, Damien Hayward, who round out the 9 in the class that are still running. Obviously, we lost very early Stephen Laird, and now we're going to get a replay here. Justin Lanier in the number 3 Porsche from the USA out of turn 5. Oh dear. That's going to cause a little bit of screaming from the tyres as the brakes are locked up. And Travis Collier saying, when can we expect pit stops?
Soon.
It's going to be an interesting one. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one.
We did see they went quite late in round 1. It's probably within the next sort of, where are we at the moment? 25 minutes to go. Probably within the next 10 minutes. They did come down quite a lot in round number 1, if I remember correctly. But please go and watch it back, because I have slept since then. So, yeah, but I think it was quite late on. Some people have chosen to go in early, but I think the early pit stops were due to the fact that they were stuck behind traffic. I believe Damien Hayward dived in earlier as well because he got stuck behind traffic. And unfortunately for Olivo here, is this turn 5 again? Is it now starting to rear? It is. Oh, that and a GTP. Oh,
that was the 27.
Vegard Johansson.
Ian Knox. No, Ian Knox. That was 27. That was Ian Knox in the Porsche.
Well, Johansson's had a problem then, and it certainly wasn't related to that.
No. Oh, that's a bright livery there for the Norway. Oi, 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 oi. Oh, out of turn 7. Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, Gilles Alleman has also been off the circuit as well. They're starting to drop a little bit here. This is going to be very interesting here for these guys. It's kind of the witching hour. But they've got to make sure that they can get it there. But how did Alleman go off track? Whoa, you just see him coming back on then. I've got a funny feeling this back end's going to snap out on him here. There we go. Round he goes. Alleman sideways, right in the middle of the track. Manages to pull the car round. Now he should, in theory, back up and bring the car. Oh, no. Oh. I would have taken it back and opened it up a little bit, giving yourself a little bit of room. But, yeah, a couple of things going on. Oliver's been off again. Damien Hayward's been off the track. So, yeah, a few people falling foul, should we say, at this moment in time.
And Damien Hayward's just got into the pits. Here's the moment here with Olivo. Oh dear, dear, dear! That is going to be a big old hit if that smacks the barriers.
That's why, Hayward
and that's why, Hayward. Olivio is still out on circuit, and he's currently P5 in the GTE-AM divisions. Currently 20th overall. Tom Weston at the minute running P12, and he's 0.9 of a second behind Brandon Smith in the Corvette, who's running at the top 3 in the GTE Pros. So plenty of dramas, and there you see Kaysen Collier trying to make his way through backmarker traffic. We'll have to wait until he comes out of turn 7 to get through on Tom Weston. Kaysen Collier now up into P2 in the GTPs as he makes his way exit stage right. And then there is Ian Knox in the Sol 499 Ferrari in the GTPs, the 499P itself. So he's closing the gap to around about 0.8 of a second. And here goes Collier through into turn 10A, turn 10B, and catching the Porsche just up in front of him, which is Gert-Jan Polman from the Netherlands. Oh, how close do you want to make that overtake there, Kaysen? God, that is definitely something puckered up right then through turn 12.
Yeah, mine as well. The interesting thing about Kaysen, he's got a busy time coming up at this moment in real life racing. He will be going to California in April for the USA Championships and maybe the World Championships at the K1 circuit. So, yeah, he's got a lot going on as this young man. 2 times karting champion, if I'm not mistaken. I think that got told to us last week as well. He's only 14. He did say as well, also when we've been having a chat for this week, that he gets very nervous in interviews. So we need to be a little gentle with him. He's a wee little lad, bless him. But yeah, he's got a busy season coming up in IRL through karting as well. So hopefully he will progress through that one. So a lot going on for Kaysen at this moment in time, but doing a great job in the race, sitting second place. Weston, however, is having a right old proper go with Brandon Smith.
Yeah. I mean, Kaysen Collier, 14 years of age. That'll probably put him in the in the higher tier of junior or lower tier of senior driving when it comes to karting. So the K1 circuit in the USA now do the Champions of the Future Americas, being broadcasted by Kart Chaser, who have good ties with a company that we've worked with before, Alpha Live here in the United Kingdom. So yeah, good luck to Kaysen with what will be a very, very busy karting schedule stateside in the USA. But Tom Weston's still doing a really, really good job. We've had dramas for Sam Hager. He's in pit road. And Tom Weston now is 1 spot away and 1.9 seconds off of the top 10 overall. And that position is occupied by the man in front of him up the road, Gert-Jan Polman from the Netherlands, who is dropping a little bit further back from Luke Oxner in the GTE-PRO battle. But someone has just gone off, and that is going to be
Lanya, I think.
Justin Lanya again. No problems at all, Travis. Yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on Kaysen's IRL career now that I know exactly where he competes. So yeah, good luck to the man himself. But yeah, I mean, so now Ian Knox has come in with 20 minutes to go. So this is the time where we're going to see with 65% fuel limits in GTPs and 55% in the GTEs. Johansson is now pitted in the BMW. So that is now going to mean that Andy Pratt has moved up into P3 in the number 10 Porsche 963 Hybrid. I do like the fact of someone actually running with the Porsche Penske Motorsport colours, because they do look really good on the Porsche 963 Hybrid, I must admit.
Yeah, I think this is the thing, isn't it? Sometimes people just like jazzing it up. Look at Vigard Johansson's machine. It's bright, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and yeah, traditional. Yeah, we may like it, but sometimes go all out, boys. Give us something really to bring you out. And let's be real as well. One of the things that people really should pay attention to at home, the brighter your car, the more recognisable you are on a broadcast. So no matter what you race, if you race a brightly coloured car, the broadcast team will always know it's you, because they'll always mention you because your car stands out, like we do with some of the guys in this session, like Vigard Johansson's and Case and Collier's yellow machine and the Colgate machine of Gert-Jan Polman. So, you know, keep it bright, guys, because you will get a lot of mentions on that one. Garrett Kinney has just managed to get himself a slowdown there, unfortunately for Garrett, not doing too well. Damien Hayward's still in pit lane and has been for about 5 minutes or so. So unfortunately for Damien Hayward, after that incident with Olivo, it does look like it's all going wrong. But people still now starting to come into the pits. Noxie's been in, Vigard Johansson's been in, Reece Bartlett's just been in as well. GTE's Jeff Manning has been in, and then further down, Brandon Smith, Chris Romano, Sam Hager. There's a lot of pit stops now as well. Did say between 15 and 20 minutes, and that's roughly where we're at.
Yeah, Damien Hayward's just made an apology in the league chat Discord to Rolliver Bolivio, saying, "I'm so sorry, I locked the brakes and tried to avoid you but couldn't. So sorry again, mate." So said sorry twice in the same statement. But you know what? At least at the end of the day, Damien, credit where credit is due. Chapeau, because you admitted the mistake. You fessed up to it and you apologised to the other party. Okay, it's not going to be the...
That's the thing.
You know,
I was going to say there. That's where this GTE, GTP battle's come in, because Hayward could have quite easily turned around and gone, Olivio, you left me no room. WTF are you playing at? But he didn't. He turned around and admitted the thing. And that doesn't happen very often. If anybody runs officials with GTPs and GT3s, you'll know full well that does not happen. It normally ends up in turning into a big old screaming, shouting match down the microphone, and people will never, ever admit that they're wrong, because they just don't. They're racer drivers. But for Damien to come out and say, look, that was actually my fault. I locked it up.
Western round the outside.
They were close. I thought it was going to come to contact there with Polman, but he managed to keep it there.
That was a good job, though. Very, very good job indeed by Tom Weston, who now is officially 10th on the road. And meantime, well, we're going to see another Cadillac come up to cross past them through into turn 6. And that is going to be, I think that's number 6 of Stuart Brighton, who's now in P3 overall. But here comes Gert-Jan Polman, who's going to take complete advantage of that. He might get a little bit of slipstream down the back stretch. And this will put him to the outside of turn 10A. The GTEs, the Ford and the Porsche, wheel to wheel, side by side. Down the hill we go now. Can Gert-Jan Polman in the 911 RSR GTE manage to go later on the brakes than Tom Weston? The answer is no.
He's got a lot to do, though, isn't he? In that Porsche,
yeah.
He's got to cope with the gruff of the Ford, and the Ford's got gruff for days, dude. And traditionally, as we know, with Porsches, especially in the GT3s and things like that, they haven't quite got the power in sim, whether or not, before anybody jumps on me and goes, in real life, they've got low power, whatever. It's not transpiring into the sim. We've seen it multiple times before. The Porsche is generally the weakest on top speed. It does well at twisty circuits. But unfortunately for Jan Polman, he's got a Ford, and that Ford has got gruff. And it will gruff all day long, and it will just keep going here.
Even though the fact of the engine in that car is a 3.5 litre V6 EcoBoost engine that's turbocharged, but Ford developed the Ford GT at the same time as both race car and road car with the help of Multimatic Motorsports, which then saw Ford come back in 2016, 50 years after they beat Ferrari for the overall victory, and then went out and won the GTE division at the Blue Riband event of the World Endurance Championship itself. 30 minutes down, 15 to go, and still a couple of drivers yet to pit. Well, Stuart Brighton has come in, Gert-Jan Polman, Tom Weston, Chad Henson, Van Polman and Weston now into pit lane. Chad Henson has also gone in. Brighton is the last of the GTPs to do so. Aleman Grussing is in So this might promote Luke Oxner back to the race lead, as he's now going to come over the crest at turn 11, go down the hill through the fast sweeping double right-hander and onto the start-finish straight. So the man from the USA in the number 77, will he be back in the race lead? Yes, that is the case. So just goes to show that by being that little bit earlier, by pulling the trigger going into the pit lane, it does set you up nicely, as Laney has gone off again in the Porsche. And that is a real shame for the number 3. He has had quite a few moments off track, but it still is meaning that he is currently P4 in GTE-AM. There's Philip Gressing closing in on Brandon Smith with Gilles Alleman. This is the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th, as they're going to come through out of turn 5 very shortly. Gressing getting very aggressive on the curbing. Bit of an and he just his ping has gone as well. So might want to concentrate, I think, maybe on Gilles Alleman there in the 404 as they go through into turn 6 and turn 7 in the so the Vesta Sport 404 Porsche running in the Good Smile livery. If anyone's watched Super GT, it's in its own right a multi-class where they have the GT 500s, which are the silhouette prototype cars that run to a certain spec, as now Brandon Smith to the outside down the hill, and here comes Parker Enquist with a big lick of speed. He makes it 3 wide, and Alleman is going to basically say to him, well, you had your chance, mate. You're not going to get through yet, but Enquist to the inside. And that was very, very close from Parker, and I'm not at all surprised why Gilles Alleman was on the flashers there.
Yeah, absolutely. He comes straight across his nose. Did Parker Enquist on that final corner. It was very, very close indeed. Jack Ashton's just gone through there. No dramas for him. Jeff Manning, he's got Jan Polman tucked in behind him as well. A couple of other people late into the bits. Do want to pick up on Brandon Smith, who's got a penalty, but there was also a penalty for Andy Pratt and Chad Henson on the pit lane there. So I'm going to presume that was pit lane orientated, because when they went into the pits, all of a sudden they got a penalty. So they were probably a little bit of a naughty boy. But at the moment, we'll find out what's gone on there as well. But Andy Pratt and Chad Henson need to be a little bit more careful on that one. But Jeff Manning, a little bit under the cosh from Gert-Jan Polman.
Yep, the battle for second position in GTE-PRO. So we've got just under 12 minutes remaining until we hit the checkered flag here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta, the home of Petit Le Mans, the 10-hour enduro, the end of every single season of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. But a great place to be here for round 2 of the G&R Designs Proto GTE series. And there's still 5 more rounds to go after this one. But Jeff Manning showing good account of himself. He's being very, very calm and composed. And he's not taking too much curb, not being too aggressive. So that's going to be helping with the traction on the Porsche 911 RSR. But look at Gert-Jan Polman. He is nearly right with him as they come out of turn 5. They've got a GTP closing in on them. That's going to be Jack Ashton, the race leader. So Ashton, well, Jack Ashton goes, yep, here we go, up through the inside. 1, 2, see ya.
Manning.
Oh, no, Manning and Polman. Oh, and Enquist nearly goes into them. Oh, dearie me. Oh, my goodness. Jeff Manning cut across the circuit, and there was was it Chad Henson, I think it was?
It was, yeah.
Oh, right, let's have a look at this again from the helicam. So up the inside goes Ashton. Gert-Jan Polman gets a good run, goes onto the grass, taps the left rear, spins in sympathy. There's Enquist. Watch this here. Chad Henson threads the eye of the needle and just about squeaks his way through the pair of the Porsche 911 RSRs.
Yeah, great job from Chad there. Moves himself up into second overall. That's now released Oxner. Jan Polman has carried on, Manning has carried on, but he has got Alleman tucked in behind him as well. A couple of GTE battles at the moment. The GTPs are fairly settled. No real dramas going on there as well. Ashton out in front, Collier, then Noxie, then Johansson, Brighton, Pratt, Enquist and Bartlett. That's your order in the GTPs. But you can see here, the GTEs providing action, I believe, and again, they did do this in round 1.
And still, the fire has yet to subside here at Road Atlanta for round 2 of the series. As there we see Chad Henson in the Turbo Rennsport Corvette, currently sitting in P2. and is 13.5 seconds behind Luke Oxner, who has started to, well, he's more than pulled away. He must be in another county by now, another state outside of Georgia, with that kind of advantage. So, and then you also look at the battle for GTE-AM, because then we've got Romano and Hager. They are covered by 1 second. There's Chris Romano in the number 44. And then not too far behind will be Sam Hager in the Ford GT. There he is. And this is going to be Parker. No, that is going to be Vegard Johansson, I think, that just went through. Currently P4 in the GTP classifications. And we were having a nice little chat about Sam Hager's livery, but there was also someone else, wasn't it? Was it, I'm trying to remember which other Ford it was. Was it Sam Hager's when we had the nightfall during free practice? The buttresses in between had this wonderful light purple glow, very much Tron-esque, that you could see for miles around.
Oh, it looked absolutely amazing. I wish it was dark so you could all see it. It was absolutely incredible. But yeah, unfortunately, we're in the daytime. Alaman has just been off, apparently. Where did he disappear to? That's the question.
Well, he's in the pits now, so, well, don't tell me this is going to be, right, he's right behind Case and Collier. Here comes Ian Knox. Oh, no.
Wow, Knox, he sent him off into the underworld there. Unfortunately, Jeff Manning has also had another set. Oh, no, this was the original one from Manning, where it was hit from Pullman, but yeah, I don't think Alaman's going to be too overly impressed from that. He did kind of get sent into the underworld. We'll have a stay on board here. Watch Knoxy come up the inside. Bang. Ooh.
Bang. Oh, that's more like a rugby shoulder tackle there.
Yeah.
And the right rear. Yeah, both wheels flailing off the drive shafts, I'm afraid, because it was a hard hit. We're going to have another look.
Just watch about coming up now. Watch the snap to the left. There's no gap. The Tinternet may have played his part in that as well, unfortunately, for Ian Knox and Alaman. I don't think that was all Knox's fault. There was an internet issue going on because there was a gap between them before Alaman's car shot off to the left-hand side. Stuart Brighton is having a good old go. He's now fighting out with Andy Pratt. Ooh, gets the job done. Of course, Stuart last season's AM champion. So, yeah, good job from him stepping up into the GTPs, and he's just battling away with Andy Pratt, which I think is, apart from the opening laps, this is one of the first battles we've seen in GTP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that, you know, sometimes the GTPs, there can be, at times, because of the back marker traffic, significantly spread out, let's say. But we have got several battles. This is the closest battle in GTP. You've got Chad Henson and Gert-Jan Polman in GTE-PRO for second position. Brighton, can he get a good run in the 5.5 litre naturally aspirated flat plane crank V8, which makes a hell of a noise as he closes in on the 963 hybrid of Andy Pratt? This is going to be very close. Brighton to the outside. This is going to put him on the outside for turn 10A. Is he going to go deep on the brakes? No, decides against it, and with, oh, right, that's one of the Corvettes that has just had a little bit of a whoopsie daisy. I think that might have been possibly maybe Drew Halloran, maybe in fourth position in the GTE-AM division in
yeah, Garrett Kinney's also had some drama, so it might have actually been Garrett down in 10-8 with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, in the Country Roads Racing 304 Corvette. So into turn 10A. Yeah.
That is so rubbish. It's not rubbish from Garrett's point of view. The spin itself is rubbish. It's a nothing spin that he's going to be absolutely gutted about because it's so slow. It's not even like it's a high pace spin. He's gone in, got the car rotated, the back end's gone light, bang, and he's gone round. And he'll be sitting there going, really? Would that really happen to me? You know, it's so frustrating when you get them slow, awkward spins like that. And unfortunately for poor old Garrett, he had one. Chris Romano has got Hager closing in at the moment. Oh, Hager's actually done him there as well. So Sam Hager passed Chris Romano. And this is how it went on in, oh no, I don't like the fact that Hager was going into turn 5. Oh, Romano runs wide, yeah, and they allowed Hager to go up the inside on through 5 for 6. So, yeah, great job from Sam Hager leaving the GTE-AMs at this moment in time. Keeping an eye on the clock, 4.5 minutes to go. So, yeah, not much racing left to go.
Maybe about 5 laps, give or take, that the GTPs, I mean, with Jack Ashton running on a mid 1 minute 9.3 at the moment, so he's already on lap 35 of this race. So 4 minutes and 20 to go. There goes Andy Pratt, I believe, on Sam Hager, who has now managed to get a gap over Chris Romano of just over 2.1 seconds. Henson and Pullman still battling away over P2 in the GTE-PRO division. That was the other BMW. I think that would have been... Well, that's not Vegard Johansson, because that's Stephen Laird, who has rejoined and is about 5 laps off of the leaders, the 13 racer number 131. This is going to be into turn 10A, and he's going to, locks up the brakes.
That's what I mean. It's so slow and so awkward. It just, Pullman and Noxie. Yeah, Noxie's taking them out one by one here.
Oh dear, first Gilles Alleman, and now Gert-Jan Pullman. Oh dearie me. No, not at the top of the hill.
No, you don't.
Well, he went off track first of all, and he thought, well, I might get the run, and then there's a little bit of Mr. Netcode, I believe, and then there's the secondary impacts, and whoopsie daisy, the Garage 69 car goes around, and the Ferrari has now tumbled outside the podium because Vegard Johansson, the Norwegian, in the number 32 BMW V8 MV8 hybrid, has kept his nose clean. So that has now changed the dynamic of P2, because now Gert-Jan Pullman is behind Jeff Manning in the number 2 Porsche. So it means that Chad Henson is the Corvette meat in a GTE-PRO leading Porsche sandwich.
And he has done a great job, because he took advantage of when Pullman and Manning come together. So fair play to Chad. Kept it on the track. He's up 6 places as well, let's not forget. So an amazing drive from Chad Henson. Did everything clean, kept it going. Other people have had problems. He's just tucked in and gone, thanks very much, I'll pick you off one by one. And he's probably sat in the car. That I've realised something as well, that watching multiple different drivers' videos, that when they end up making a move where somebody's had an incident, they sit there and they go, ooh, freebie, and off they go again. You know what I mean? And poor old Chad Henson has been picking up freebies all over the place.
It's like he's got his 2,500 points at Starbucks, meaning he's a gold member. He's got multiple free drinks coming his way. Yeah. But, I think it is the case of, in this series, when you've got GTPs and GTEs running together, you've got to be very, very careful. Now, we are getting close on time. I think we're going to have 2 laps to go. If Jack Ashton gets across the line, I think we could be tight on it, but probably about 10 seconds to go in which he needs to cross the stripe. But I think we might go on to one more lap, as we're 1 minute and 13 seconds away from the checkered.
Oh, you ain't going to do it.
No, it's going to be one more. White flag's going to be in the air here for round 2 of the series here at Road Atlanta, and Jack Ashton has got a colossal lead, 26.3 seconds, as he heads into turn 1 for what will be the final time here on lap 38.
Yeah, great job from Jack there as well. We'll stay on board for him for this final lap. Everybody else has drifted a little bit further apart at the moment. There you can see on the left-hand side, Oxner still leading the pros. Hager now leading the AMs, and this, Jack, final lap, mate, final lap. Don't lose it, son.
So just half the lap to go as he makes his way through into turn number 7, and it looks like that's Nick Marshall that he's just going to get through on in the number 17 Porsche, who's rounding out the top 7. Out of 7 in the GTE AMs, but Jack Ashton, the minute that this man gets into the front and qualifies on pole position, it's going to be a good race for him. It's going to be fastest lap, it's going to be pole position, and it is going to be round 2 victory here at Road Atlanta for Jack Ashton in the Cadillac number 98. He crosses the line, takes the checkered, And it's going to be Manning and Pullman who round out third and fourth. Luke Oxner, at the meantime, is going to come down the hill. Sam Hagar is going to come down the hill. He will win in the GTE-AM division. And 3.5 seconds behind him will be Chris Romano. Tom Weston, who led the class early, will take P3. He's yet to cross the line. He's on his way down the backstretch as we speak. Luke Oxner, in the meantime, is
Just
leading the
behind
GT
him,
Pros.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, so there we go. He's a couple of cars behind, because there you've got we've got Laird amongst others, but Luke Oxner struggled in the early part of the going in this race, dropped down into fourth position, but he's kept his nose clean, made the opportunities come to him. He's out of turn 10A for the final time, over the crest, down the hill. Luke Oxner wins round number 2 in GTE Pro.
Yeah, great job from him. Sam Hager taking the win in the GTE AMs as well, with Romano sitting in second place. Stunning run from them. And then in third, as you say, was Tom Weston leading the way early on. And unfortunately, I think the pit stops may have caused him some drama. But great racing from all of these guys. And there is the final results.
Yeah, so Jack Ashton takes the win in the GTP division here at round 2, ahead of Casey Collier by 25.8 seconds. Vegard Johansson in the number 32 BMW for Norway rounds out your top 3 on the rostrum. Ian Knox, Andy Pratt, Stuart Bryerton, Parker Enquist, Rhys Bartlett and Stephen Laird crossed the line, led 7 laps down, and Damien Hayward retired with 17 laps completed. Then we go to GTE Pro. Luke Oxner wins by 14 seconds, ahead of Chad Henson with Jeff Manning, rounding out your top 3. Gert-Jan Polman was in the mix for the race win, but ends up being 4th, ahead of Brandon Smith, Philip Grussing, Garrett Kinney, and Gilles Alleman out with 8 laps to go after that moment with Ian Knox, retires and finishes 8th position. And Josh Taylor in the BMW M8, unfortunately, would retire on lap number 4. Coming into GTE-AM, Sam Hager would take the top step of the podium and end up in victory lane ahead of Chris Romano. Tom Weston rounding out the top 3, with Weston leading the majority of the proceedings in the Ford GT. Drew Halloran, Rollivob Olivio, Justin Lanier and Nick Marshall complete your finishing order in the GTE-AM division. And that, as they say, is a roundup of the results. Whether they might change between now and round 3 is anyone's guess here, James. But what a great run here at Road Atlanta for the second round out of 7.
Yeah, it was, and that's the thing. Road Atlanta is absolutely amazing, and I do love Road Atlanta. We go here so many times and throughout the year, and especially on Petit Le Mans season, we'll do multiple with different leagues and stuff like that. So it's great to see great racing again from all of these guys, and I think this has been just one of them races that you can sit back and go, absolutely stunning. Ashton taking the win, Hagar taking the win, and of course Luke Oxner taking the win as well. I'm going to grab some of these because it doesn't look like they're coming down on their own. So you are coming down, gentlemen, and you're coming down when I grab you. I cannot find, there he is as well, so I'm going to move him. So there you go, pick. You got 3 winners. Who do you want first?
Let's bring in, I haven't spoken to this man in quite a while. Let's bring in our overall race winner, Jack Ashton.
All right, there we go. Jack, there for you.
Mr. Ashton, good evening.
How are we, guys?
I'm good. Pretty dominant victory there, mate. 26.2 seconds after 38 laps. It was a race that you felt very, very comfortable in, despite all that GTE traffic being caught rather early in the race.
Yeah, it's good fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, the combo of like the mixture of the GTEs involved makes it really quite interesting, quite fun. It's the task of trying to adapt to the traffic and find your way through it as quick as possible is definitely the best way, and quite enjoyable as well. So yeah, I enjoyed that. As much as it may have looked a bit lonely, it's good fun.
Well, still, nevertheless, I mean, you still had a challenge of getting through the back market traffic anyway, Jack. But nevertheless, you decided to pit a couple of laps later than some of the other GTP competitors. I mean, we saw Ian Knox go in as early as lap 21, I think also with Reece Bartlett, but you stayed out for a few more laps. I mean, how did that help you with regards to the fuel strategy? Because going past those GTEs, it does give you a nice little bit of a slipstream boost from time to time and help you with that fuel window.
Yeah, I mean, you'll laugh. I mean, basically, I have my fuel calculator so I can understand what fuel to do and what my fuel usage is, but it didn't help that my iRacing was set to different units, so I didn't actually know how many liters I could put in. It was in gallons, so I had zero clue how much fuel to put in the car. So I kind of had to just guess, which worked. I still had a bit in the tank left, but it worked. And what is more ironic is that the reason that has happened is because I was coaching Kaysen earlier this week to help him along, and I changed my metric thing to different so we could look at speeds together and assess it ourselves, and I forgot to change it back. And obviously Kaysen's in this race, he had a little giggle to himself because I also helped him set up the fuel calculator ready for this race today as well.
Oh, well, at least you'll know that for next time for round 3. But before we let you go, Jack, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to in particular?
Just a shout out to Garrett and Reece. I mean, the grid looks pretty lovely with all the liveries they do and all the help they do for my league too as well. So I'm sure you could both agree that the liveries out on track look absolutely awesome. So massive thanks to them guys, and yeah, you guys for the stream. I'm sure we'll look forward to watching it back later on.
Brilliant, Jack. Well, congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next time out for round 3. Well done tonight.
Cheers. I might not make many rounds this season, but we'll see how many we can do. Hopefully we can make as many as we can, but it may be very limited.
All right, buddy. Good to catch up with you. It's been a while, but look after yourself and have a good weekend.
Thank you, mate. Angie.
Hey, big thank you there to Jack Ashton. Now we've got our winner in what will be the GTE-AM division, Sam Hager. Welcome into the booth. And Ford rules the roost on home soil here at Road Atlanta. How you doing?
Pretty good, thank you. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. It was a bit of an interesting race because Tom started running away with things, and then you and Chris started to have a bit of a battle, and then it all came to a head where you found yourself in the lead of the race, then come across the line to take the W. You must be feeling pretty good after that one.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal recovery from qualifying. I wasn't expecting to get 5th at all.
Yeah, I think
fifth overall, but the win in AMs, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I think it just goes to show that sometimes qualifying is just for show, really, at the end of the day. And it's all about that race pace, keeping that consistency, keeping your nose clean, taking opportunities when they present themselves. And that's exactly what you did tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't get tire temp in the qualifying, and then I couldn't find pace in the beginning of the race. And then, yeah, I was just kept it smooth and kind of played cautious until I found my groove. And then it just all came back to me.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, second round in out of 7. You looking forward to next week?
Yeah, I've only just practiced Detroit this week, so it's a new track to me. So we'll see how much I can learn in 2 weeks.
Yes, indeed. Well, congratulations on the win tonight, Sam. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a thanks to or a shout out to?
I'd just like to thank GNR Designs and them for helping with delivery, and Andy Pratt for giving some coaching lessons here and there.
Brilliant. Well, Sam, congratulations on the win. We'll see you at round 3 at Detroit. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Thanks. Have a good one.
Well, really good to hear from our winners in both GTP and GTE-AM there, James. But again, Road Atlanta, the roller coaster that always delivers.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well, because we put the schedule up on the screen. You can see we're off to Detroit next time out. So that's going to be an absolute interesting one to see how that goes on April 10th. Then the 24th will be Spa. May the 8th off to Imola, then Mugello, and then we round out the season on June the 5th. So it does go on for quite a while at Fuji. But Road Atlanta, delivering as always.
Indeed, and that wraps up things here on the JP Broadcasting Network. You've been in the company of myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and alongside me in the booth, also working feverishly behind the scenes, Mr. James Parfitt. Well, round 2 is in the books, and next time we go to the home of Ford Motor Company. We go to Motor City, Detroit for round 3 out of 7 for the GNR Prototype and GTE Racing Series. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, you better go flat out. Good night. Have a great weekend.